Sure. Ooh, I like this music.
Guys, we are here. We've done it. They swore to me I'd never be back. And Cam, I'm back, baby.
About time.
Guys, we have CPOX with us, a.k.a. Cam Parkes, a.k.a. Frankly, the man that should have been cast as Randolph Thor. All right, let's just put it down there. What happened? It's ridiculous.
You know, I sent them an email.
I sent them an email too.
I sent them an email. I said, I'm willing to play Randolph Thor. I'm willing to play an Aiel, a villager. Please, I'll fly out an audition on my own dollar.
Totally. I will be stabbed on the field of war.
I'll do anything. Got a form response.
Oh, man. Nothing breaks the heart like a form response.
Form response.
Yo, Rococo. That's so good. Welcome. Glad you're here. Cam, for those of us that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, of chopping it up, of stalking you on Twitter, break them off, dude.
Twitter.
What's what's up with you? Who are you? How are you here? How are you doing?
Good question. Okay, I guess my Twitch spiel would be, hey, I'm CPOX, or Cam, he/him streamer from Toronto, Canada. So north. What do? I play video games. I act and voice act, not to the level of you. That's my aspiration to get up there.
Hey.
I send emails to big movies or TV shows and hope they cast me. Why do I exist? Or why am I here? Actually, excuse me. Wheel of Time is why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you. During the pandemic, when it first started, I was the most motivated I'd ever been for anything. Bro. And I was like, I'm gonna do YouTube videos every day. And then it was like once a week. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm on whatever reread of the Wheel of Time, probably 6th or 7th. I'm gonna do monologues of my favorite scenes.
Bro.
Then we connected. We did a duo scene, which was incredible.
Truly.
We didn't get cast, but that's fine.
I mean,
now here we are.
No, that's exactly correct. In Cam was referencing how we essentially originally connected, which was that, man. Like, we both were pitching this from the same angle, which was like putting self-tapes that were ripped from the Wheel of Time books onto Twitter. And to be honest, like the Wheel of Twitter crowd is voracious, right? Like, they're
huge
about it. They are down. Some people are not down, and they will let you know. Maybe at the end, yeah, that's a good point, Rocco. I think we have to. Maybe at the end of this, we'll play the tape. We'll release the tapes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know.
I said I was ready for anything, but I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Listen, let's really set the stage, because is this a great standalone art piece that we created? No, not necessarily. But is it a hyper executed self-tape that from the fanboy stance is pretty incredible? Yes.
That's a really good perspective. Self-tape, it's the best self-tape I've ever done.
That's what I'm saying. It's it was a glorified, it was like a public self-tape. You know?
Yes.
Dude, I'll never forget this. This was the best. I wanted to play Matt, which is a member of kind of the trio of male protagonists in Wheel of Time. And dude, I loved your style, Cam. I loved your performance as well. And it just really cracked me up. But I posted before we connected, I posted just the Matt side of things to Reddit, and it was probably my most successful Reddit post. But I only bring it up because, dude, it was. And look, I mean, as we both know, being in the business and being online, period, people will come out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, dude, you do not have what it takes."
Yeah.
And your eyebrows are enormous. And it looks to me like 2 caterpillars died.
They said that
and got glued to your face, bro. Yes. And I'm paraphrasing, but what I'm saying is that in this case, there was so many people that were like, love it. So many people were like, no, this is not Matt. And then this was the best. Was this one? I don't know who this was, but somebody writing an 8,000 word comment that's more or less like, what you have here is a man that's given it his all. And despite like the pros. He lists a couple pros for like me and my performance. Despite these pros, despite the fact he's clearly passionate, he's never going to get this role because blah 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 blah. And it was so many things where I'm like, bro, first off, you are correct. Yo, Evie, what's up, baby girl?
Everything you've said is correct.
Yeah, like I'm not saying you're wrong because you're not wrong. However, you don't need to say those things, you know?
Imagine taking so much time to write that. He probably watched the video more than once.
Bro, he gave me
to write that.
Very specific notes. You know? Like it was like
the notes we wish for. Hey, casting.
Exactly.
I would love these notes.
He gave me more feedback in one Reddit post than 10 years in LA in terms of feedback.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like that's the real deal. Oh my God. Well, let me say this. Reddit. Rocco, thank you for coming through. You're in the right place. Cam's the man. Evie, I love you. And I'm realizing because I haven't streamed in so long, my music presets are not working, so I'm not able to do the bugle. But I want you to know I was hitting bugles up. Normally it would go. Bugle. So we'll just have to make do with the Foley.
That was pretty good.
Dude, hey, voiceover artist and GM.
Probably better.
Speaking of which, let's get into it, Cam. Let's get into it.
Great segue.
Because you are an artist, you're an actor, yes, you're super talented, of course, but you also stream as a DM on Twitch. And I'm curious, man, because like we met through Wheel of Time, and I kind of know you as an actor, and it was rad to me to see you streaming D&D, like an actual play. I was like, my man, you know, because I already liked you, but I was like, fuck yes. And like, how did that, you know, what brought you to the tabletop, so to speak? Like what was your relationship with D&D or tabletop systems?
Yeah, I'll start by mentioning Rococola is in my current campaign. So there'll be some secrets I won't be able to say if we get to them because she can't know what's coming. But, oh man. Okay, so it all started in 2016. Or no, like 2018. I was introduced to D&D late. Like I was like 28. I played it once when I was younger and had a really bad experience. So I was like, I'm never playing this again.
And how young are we talking about? Like 7th grade or like 4th?
No. Like it would have been like 20.
Oh,
say
got
20.
it.
So younger, not young, but younger. I played with some random people from work. I died. My character died in the first hour, and then they played for another they just kept playing. And I was like, I'm gonna go home because this is really boring. And then I never played. I didn't play for 8 years. Like 8 years.
Was Ninners running the campaign? I joke.
Yeah, it was.
Wait a minute.
It was awful.
Can you walk us through that death real quick? Like what happened?
Oh,
Beholder? What's going on?
I believe it was a gelatinous cube.
Claimed many.
This is my first time ever playing. Yeah, many more veteran adventurers have succumbed to gelatinous cubes, but I was like brand new. I don't even remember what my character was because I think they might have just given me one. It was my first time even ever entering that world, and I was like, well, this sucks. Now I'm gonna sit here for 4 hours.
Dude, that is so classic. They're like, get in there first, Cam. See if it's safe.
Yep. It was not.
I can see the GM being like, your slashing damage is not effective.
Yeah.
You don't even know what damage type is, you know?
I honestly think it wasn't malicious, which made it worse to me. It's like they weren't trying to kill me. They're just like, no, those are the rules.
Yeah.
Like, but I didn't know the rules. No, you're dead. Well, can I come back? Nope. Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to walk home.
Dude, Evie, back me up if I'm correct. Ninners might have been running this campaign secretly. I know you don't know Ninners. No, I'm joking. Ninners is the
I feel like I know Ninners.
No, because what happened to you sounds like there was no like staging or framing of what was happening. Like this is the first time you've ever played, and within an hour you're making death saves and dying.
I'm dead. Yep.
Okay, so you died. It's university. You power through. Yep. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna live my life. I'm never playing D&D. And what got you back?
So let's say 8 years later, I moved to Toronto, the big city. I did the conservatory program at Second City. So that's like improv sketch. You have to audition. It's a huge, big deal. And the friends I met in that were voracious D&D players. So they invited me to play with them. So it was all in person. This is circa 2018. We started playing in
Amazing.
person. I made my first character. She didn't die. It was great. And
You're like, I made
like
it to level 2. It was
I made it to level
incredible.
2. I was hooked immediately. Just like it's like
Yeah.
improvising with. I almost exclusively play with improvisers,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like,
Well, dude, so your DM and your table was from Second City, Toronto.
yep.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So it's
Incredible.
like they have outlines, but it's all improv. It's improv
Sure.
and math, but the website does the math for you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I was hooked. Then 2020 happened.
Yes,
That's
it did.
when I first learned of Roll20, the online D&D, one of the online D&D platforms.
Heck yeah.
And that's when I ran my first campaign. So my wife, Shayna, and her brother had never played before. And I had two friends that had played, and I was like, I'm gonna run a campaign for noobs. So I built all the maps in Roll20, and you know what, actually, this is, well, Roca-Cola, don't listen, but since you're such a Wheel of Time fan, like I borrow heavily from that universe
Dude.
for my stuff.
Okay. Can we okay, there's gonna be a lot of Wheel of Time geeking today. So either get on board or find a
get
way
out.
to get on board. No, the yeah, I love that. Or we'll throw
Or
you
get out.
overboard.
Ooh.
No, but dude, that is 100% the case with me as well. Like my Tuesday campaign, I've read Wheel of Time like 3 or 4 times. Like I love it. It's amazing. But the idea of Luz Theron being reincarnated, like the idea of prophecy like re-actualizing itself in different contexts and different physical vessels, to me is so epic and dope. And
Yep.
yo, welcome Guffball, get in here. And
Guff.
and dude,
Two types of people.
yeah,
Sorry, please
yeah, exactly.
continue.
Those that are on board, and those that are about to
And
get
everyone
on
else.
board. Oh my gosh, no, you're right. That's true. It's like people that brush their teeth. But dude, in my campaign is a dear friend of mine out in LA, a wonderful artist who's been on the stream a bunch of times, Everclare. And dude, she started reading The Wheel of Time in maybe 2019. And she is out of control, like stupid fast reader. She's through Winter's Heart. She's on, I think, Towers of Midnight. So
Damn, okay.
I had all this shit that was like Ruidin-esque prophecy. Like I'd worked in the prophecy of the dragon since like session 30. We're on session 140 right now.
Oh,
and it was a thing,
shit.
as she's reading, I was like, all right, Claire, look, you're going to come across some things that might be kind of paralleled to what's happening.
That's
Back up.
great.
You know?
That's why I took mostly stuff from like Towers of Midnight and beyond, just in case. I don't think any of my players read Wheel of Time currently. Don't.
Yeah, please
Guffball's
don't.
also in my campaign.
Guff,
I think
you are
they're here.
lucky to have
They're here
this
trying
guy.
to get spoilers, but there ain't gonna be any.
Nah, we'll get some out. I'll tease some out.
There might
Don't
be
worry.
some.
I'm good.
I love talking about stuff.
No, for sure. Well. So and I want to dive into that, but regardless. So how did your campaign? Did it start as all homebrew that you're streaming with these guys? Was it modular based? And
Yeah,
then
so-
secondarily, think about
Yep.
this. You started as a player. Like I really want to hear about that migration to DM.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So the campaign I started running during the pandemic was not on Twitch. It was just for friends. And then life happened. Someone got like a job, and so we had to
Worst.
stop.
Who are these
I
people?
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But around also that time was when I started streaming. Like April 2020, I think, was when I first started streaming. So the idea to actually put them together didn't come till like, I don't know, like late 2021, 2022. And I'd been chatting with my Twitch friends, kind of being like, oh, we love D&D. And a bunch of them were like, I would love to play. I've never played before, though. I don't really know like how to do it. So that's when I was like, you know what? I've DM'd this one time because I was the only one who could, but I think I could do it. I think you guys don't know anything about the game. Great.
Perfect.
Then you won't know if I'm messing it up. And I already had all the maps built. So this one we're streaming, we're reusing the maps and everything, but it's a completely different story because it's very improv heavy, and I'm not great at taking notes. So the canon changes depending on our recaps every time.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. But I mean, I love building the maps and getting the soundscapes and
Dude,
having like
sounds
a
good.
hundred NPCs. Uh, I mean, I'm sure you know it's a lot to run everything on your own and stream and DM and have some semblance of where the story is going. So that's why it's very improv heavy.
No, that is so. And like, you're a great improviser. You're hilarious, and you also have that ability to kind of sink into story, right? That's so
Mm,
funny that you frame it that way because, like, I love improv as well. Obviously, a ton of improv is going to be requisite for most DM games, but I almost come at it from the opposite, where it really helps me to have a little bit of, even if it's just bullet points of beats.
mm.
You know what I mean? Because I can then, especially if I'm playing digitally, I can just control F and like find the last time that this NPC came up or whatever the fuck. And like that aspect
Right.
makes the kind of, I wouldn't say performance anxiety because I don't really have that, but that kind of test anxiety. I get that as a DM where I'm like, what are they gonna
Yep.
do? What are they gonna do
Yep.
this time? You know what I mean? So like that for me is kind of a way around it. But Cam, let me ask, like, did you, and then we'll circle back to the journey from player to DM. Was
Yeah.
it, so you were playing like online, you were playing digitally, but off stream in
Yes.
like kind of late pandemic or mid pandemic or whatever. And then you ported over that same game.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it was
sick.
like early pandemic for the just running it and we tested it out. And then when this opportunity came up, I was like, hey, I have like 30 maps already made.
I
Like I
love
can
it.
make new tokens and all that stuff. And why not? This story is like it's great. It's a great outline. Why not reuse it? They are approaching the end of where we got to though. So soon it'll be brand new.
Ah, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I love
So I'll have
that.
to do a bunch more work for that.
I
But
love that. Man, that's awesome. So how was it? Like as soon, I mean, excluding the first 5 hours that you played D&D, all right, banishing those into the
yeah.
Shadowlands. Um, did you know pretty immediately? Like, I mean, you talked about kind of becoming a DM out of necessity, but before
Mm.
that happened, were you interested? Like, did it seem like too much? You know what I mean? Like, how was it? Like, how was it going?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was always like, I think I could do this. You know, like the at the
Hmm.
carnival, those rope ladder games, you have to climb them, and I'm always like, I could do that, but then
Sure.
I've never done it, so I can keep thinking I can do it. But for
Right.
DMing, I was like, I would come up with ideas and be like, this could be cool. What if this happened? This would be cool. But we have several like not forever DMs, but our regular DMs who love DMing. So it's up to that point, it'd have been like, I'm happy to play. But if I were to do this, I'd run it this way. And then it kind of, all coagulates and it's like, okay, well, why don't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't I?
Heck yeah.
And then the necessity comes in. It's like, hey, we need a DM. I'm like, noobs? All right.
Yeah, exactly. You're like putting on a suit. And
Yeah.
did you run, was your first session or first campaign homebrew?
Yeah, I've only run homebrew.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, I like your angle with like the notes and everything and control F. I would love to be able to do that. I don't have those notes to control F. And I'll tell you why, because the very first session, I spent hours prepping my first ever session I was going to run. Every possibility that they could possibly
Yeah.
do. If they do this, this happens. Took them 5 minutes to go off the rails, do something I didn't foresee, and the rest was improv anyway. So I was like, what's the point? I'm just gonna set them a start and a finish, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll get there how they get there.
No, definitely for me, it has, you're 100% right. Like for me, it's now like, I'll maybe a preamble. I'll set the first scene because I know
Yeah.
where we'll start, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, it's really just me like reminding myself of NPCs, their wants and needs, maybe a little bit
Yes.
of dialogue so it can sound, juicy.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is so funny. So Cam, like if you and I love that it was noobs, you're like, all right, everybody on board. Everybody just hop in.
Get
This
on
is how you
board.
play.
Yeah.
Do you like now that you've kind of, made that jump to streaming, like do you have multiple games? Are you still playing offline?
Yes. I mean, I'm sure like it's hard to get groups together. Even like, the pandemic has relaxed. It's not over, obviously, but it's like relaxed. So it's just like it's not even that. It's like, hey, we all have jobs. We need to get a day
Right,
six
right, right,
people can
right.
get together. But I have I'm in two in-person ones where I'm a player right now.
Okay, amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing. And then you stream your game
that's right. Yeah,
with Guff and Rococo. Okay, that's awesome that you get to play in two. I'm in a Curse of Strahd campaign, and it's like,
that's one of them.
is it okay?
Yep.
Sick. We're like rocking through, and it's dark, man. It's dark.
It's
You
yeah,
know.
it's a big departure from my normal style because like I said, I usually play with DMs who are improvisers. It's homebrewed. Obviously, Strahd is not homebrewed, and the DM is not an improviser. So it's kind of like really adapting. Like I'm like, okay, that guy annoyed me. I'm gonna punch him. And
Yeah.
then they're like, okay, I'm just gonna give you one like out of game reminder. Like
Yeah.
this is Strahd. There are 15, bad guys around you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
So I
I
punch
won't
one of
punch
them.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I punch him and then surrender, but it's really it's different.
It is. Barovia sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always cloudy in Barovia. You know what I mean?
Always cloudy and Barovia.
Like I really, yeah, I had a, well, we don't, let's just stay on board. That's amazing. So you're into, have you found that like playing more in the same way that watching DMs and be like, I could do that. I would do that differently. How has playing more in games changed the way you DM?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Just figuring out how I play is a good,
Yeah.
kind of gauge. I'm like, I wish, like, I want to do this. And, different DMs allow different things. I very much am like, you can try whatever you want, but I'm going to try and enforce appropriate consequences.
Yeah, baby.
Like, is this an adult? Can I swear?
Oh,
my
yeah.
my mantra is like, it's like fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
That's the theme,
Yeah.
and they do. Oh my God, they do. Um, but even just learning the rules, I feel like makes it a lot easier to DM. It's like I've started to, I know spells. I know stuff without having to look up every single thing.
Right.
Not everything, obviously, but I know enough. And it's like, okay, I feel confident in setting up an encounter because I know kind of like the mechanics of how it works, and just playing and getting experience is like giving me
Yeah.
more confidence to run it how I would want to play. If that makes, I'd want to play in this encounter if I wasn't running it
Listen,
type thing.
that is the metric, right? I mean, and I think that as actors is oftentimes like all we have is
Right.
some version of like, would I want this? You know what I mean? Like, would this be the show I would watch? And it's tough
Yeah,
because I'm sure
exactly.
like we're, obviously we have to be our like number one fans, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, the more you play, the more you definitely pick up the rules, pick up like kind of the formula of the mechanics, but you
Yeah.
also figure out like, man, I really like this, or like,
Yeah.
ooh, that was confusing to me. Like I probably would have changed this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to Guff? That's so good. I didn't get
He
swallowed
definitely didn't
at
get
all.
swallowed.
What
Okay,
is
I'll
up
spoil
here?
it. He got swallowed. He got swallowed by a giant jungle snake.
Heck yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, for
It
some
needed to
people,
happen.
that's a rite of passage. For some people, that's like the same as a bar mitzvah. That's just like now you're in. Like
Yeah. I mean, to his credit, he then burst out from the inside. So, and he didn't mention this came after he was riding this giant snake, rodeo style, but then fell off and then got swallowed.
And then the snake got his. I love
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
let me just make sure I'm tracking this. So was the riding the snake the fuck around part, and then the being consumed the finding out? Am I tracking?
Yeah, you're tracking.
Okay,
You're
got
tracking.
it.
It's one of those things where there's not a mechanic for it in D&D, like
Yeah,
as
for rodeo.
written, but he's rodeoing the snake. So I said, okay, you can rodeo the snake, but if your teammates injure the snake, it's gonna frolic around in pain or writhe. I
it's
guess
gonna
would
buck.
be a better word.
It's gonna
And you're gonna have to
buck,
do
damn
it. You're gonna have to do a dexterity saving throw, and if you fail it, well, that's the finding out.
Yeah.
And he found
there you
out.
go. There you
And he
go.
rose to the occasion. The whole party did. I was very proud.
Oh, that's so great. Guff.
Frolicking in
Everybody
pain.
needs a Guff ball in there, right? Just
Exactly.
stir in the pot. To be honest, like as a DM, I have experienced that massively. And even like a good buddy of mine, Brian, he's the one that runs the Curse of Strahd campaign. He's also like a first AD on a lot of films, like
Nice.
Amazing Spider-Man, Transformers 2. Like he's got some huge credits.
Oh,
But he's just a rad dude. It's like he also directs Coffee Cops, my projects. So
yes.
let's not get it twisted.
Saw that linked.
Yeah, there you go. Check it out. But he is in my Tuesday campaign, which started as Dragon of Icespire Peak, has now become, this kind of sprawling homebrew, which is like reaching its end, man. 4 years, bro. Level 18, 4 years. Like it's been insane. But
What'd you start at?
Started at 1. Yeah.
That's unheard of.
I know. Believe me, I like in half of them are actors. The rest are like rad people I've known forever.
Amazing.
But Brian is my guffball, like he is in the best of ways. He plays like an old, like dwarven fighter. This woman, Glorious Tucklebutts, she's lived a good life. She's sown her oats. She's raised her wheat. And now for the past like 2-3 years in game, she's just been cutting loose,
Oh,
and,
amazing.
Like it's just
Glorious.
yeah, exactly. Like tuggle, like you're tugging on a butt. Don't ask. Apparently, it's a family name. I don't know.
Tugglebutts.
I don't know. But as a DM, like, agree or disagree, like that to me, I would rather have that than have a. I would almost rather have that, and I don't necessarily mean an instigator, but like someone that's willing to like make the crazy offer. Can I ride the snake? Can I box the orc? Can I challenge you? Whatever it is. I love that shit because it gives us the DM so much to play with.
Agreed.
Okay.
100%. That's why the mantra is fuck around and find out. I want them.
Yeah.
I want them. We stay on the same, and this is not an insult, but we stay on the same map page for a whole session sometimes, and it's brilliant.
Sure.
The random shit they do, there's no way to predict it, which is why I don't try.
Yeah. And I'm sure that runs into your prep as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
makes it prep a lot easier.
Well, I'm running. I a lot of times will stream the prep for my home game, and I'm doing so again on Wednesday. And dude, I was about to say it was 2 weeks ago. It was actually probably like 2 months ago. Like that's what happened when you have a baby, right? It's like the days are 36 hours and over in about 45 minutes. It's just like this weird washing cycle of like time stretching and then accelerating. But dude, the party, and I'll like spare you the nitty gritty, but like basically in our campaign, the hells are rising and it's pushing the drow to the surface. And so like there's been these portals, like the BBEG had this like opaque hellish portal that was connected to the 9 hells. There's been a lot of like, how are the hells, what's going on? And they finally decided to go into hell.
Oh,
and I was like, let's go. I'm like copying and pasting from years ago when I prepared for this. And I've like got all the shit. I'm like, oh man, they're going to meet some of the 9 princes. Like, let's do it. And they got there and they ran into this like lesser demon who was like more or less like, you fools, like mortals leave here in chains, like all this shit.
Very nice.
And within about an hour and a half, they were in the city of Brass. And they were like, should we get out of here? And they just like teleported. And it was one of the things where I was like, God damn it. Like, I need more guffball. You know what I mean? Like, let's go.
We need more guffball.
I mean,
that's funny. So. They did the smart thing, but
right.
Come on.
Now, would they have potentially been enslaved for all of eternity? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
That's the risk.
Okay. Let's dive into your style though, Cam, because like I feel like I know you so well as an actor, and I want to know you better as like a DM. Homebrew only. I love that. How about like, your approach to session zeros, and then kind of addendum, and not that there's any right answer, I'm genuinely asking, an addendum to that, player backstories. Like I'm sure it of course varies on the player. Some people will be like, he ran away from a circus and he loves to cook, and then some people will send you 10 pages. But like, what's your process of incorporating backstory?
I'll try and answer without revealing too much. I definitely incorporate backstory in different ways depending on what the backstory is and the players. I'm trying to be,
Right. It's all good. This is a safe space. This is for you,
yeah,
Kev.
but a couple of them are in here. I don't want them getting
Yeah,
any.
no, no, for sure. This is what Evie's talking
Sessions
about.
Session zero, especially because the players were new, is a lot of like, how do we build a character? Like, what are we, so it's very like session
Yes.
zero, and kind of talking about, how the playing is going to work. Honestly, the first session was built to kind of be like a live play session zero, where I
Cool.
made it so that there'd be chances to learn how to do ability checks and saving rolls, and they got to do like a fight and got to role play a bit. So it was kind of like a yeah,
Like a
like a live
tutorial.
session zero.
That's
Exactly. I thought of it
badass.
as kind of a tutorial
That's
first
badass.
session.
That's very
Yeah,
generous and considerate. That's great.
yeah, it was. I mean, and of course, like off rails immediately. But hey, that's what
Wait, Kim, can I ask?
that's
Because
what.
like
Yeah,
I truly I relish these moments. Like
yeah,
I wasn't happy that the party left the city of brass, but I could objectively appreciate the comedy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And do you remember like kind of how you saw it going and then how it went off the rails?
Yes, actually.
Break us up.
Okay, so the tutorial is set up that they wake up in their dungeon. They're informed that they will be fighting in the arena. Uh,
Love it.
it's a tutorial. They're supposed to talk to the other people in the prison after they get the information they need. Like in a game, you have to get the info you need. Then you're escorted to the arena. You do your fight, whatever.
Yeah.
They escape from their prison because you have to honor the rules, right? They
Yeah.
escape from their prison cell. They ended up
I
like
love that.
engaging in conflict with the guards who were literally just supposed to escort them to the arena. Um, that's when it went off the rails, and then that's when the improv comes out, and it's kind of like I'm like, okay, in my mind, I don't want them to kill the guards because then like they're fucked. Like they're gonna get punishment. They're not ready for punishment.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any weapon. They're new. So the guard suddenly is like talking about, his it's his daughter's birthday, so he has to like get out of here. Just really putting on the guilt. So like, don't kill me. And then, one of the party members is like, you have a family? I throw my javelin. It's like, oh my God. So the murder hobo tendencies emerged
So
very quickly.
that's
But
so
hey,
good.
they're gonna do it. But they completed the tutorial. They just
Right.
did it in it's an open world tutorial, I guess.
Sure. Like they're getting to I love that idea of like the crier being like, all right, and next, fighting in the pit, we have where the fuck are they?
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Exactly.
just like looking back. Oh,
Yep.
that's
They're
real.
they're just
That's real,
screwing
dude.
around. Yeah.
In oftentimes in those situations, like I feel like I look back and it's sort of not obvious, but it's very human. Like if you're in a prison or jail, I think the number one desire is to get out of it. You know what I mean?
I can imagine. Yeah.
And so I like that feeling. Even in game, you're kind of like, okay, no, should we wait around and fight? We're not gonna play by these guys' rules. Like, let's
Yeah,
go.
they're very much that
Let's
type of
immediately
party.
jet. Oh my goodness. Yes. Hey, anybody that wants to redeem, if we redeem a Shakespeare, I will rock it with Cam. I know you're down, Cam.
Oh, I'll try.
That's a resting presumption of consent. That's amazing, dude. Well, so like, and it can be this game with these players or any in the past. Like, what are, like, if that is your session zero and it's kind of like a working session zero, right? I love that idea, especially for new players. That's brilliant because, especially D&D, like you really do kind of learn on the job. It kind of starts to come together as you see that break from role play to dice roll and back and forth.
Right.
And I'm curious, then with the backstories, like, is that something where, yeah, how do you kind of keep that in your back pocket as the session runs along?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, so I ask the players to send me their backstory before. I guess that's like kind of session zero prep. I ask them to send me their backstory, so it can be as much or as little as they want. If it's little, I will embellish on it.
Yeah.
I do have, I don't take notes as much as I should definitely, but anything like that I have in a document. I have planned like times that I will use that information
Yeah.
to inspire certain
Cam,
events.
such a measured response, dude. I love that. Love that. You're like, how do I frame this?
How do I say this without sending them running to change their backstories? Like if they have family, great. We love that.
Sure.
Anything that can, that's the beauty of improv, right? It's like they're like, they'll mention their backstory, be like, I'm from this town, was raised as like a thief on the streets, like, and my sister was with me, and like they just mention one tiny little thing, and it's like, guess what? I'm not gonna grab onto your main thing you said, but that one little thing that you said as a throwaway, guess what? That's gonna pop up later.
Yeah, we're using that.
Yeah,
dude, that's amazing.
Everything's fair game.
That's amazing. I absolutely adore that, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, the like there are some moments where you get something, or like the backstory is sent to you and it's pretty immediate, right? You're kind of like, oh, this is definitely what needs to happen here. But then there's other scenarios where I feel like instead of immediately having an opinion, I kind of like I'm like, okay, at some point, because their parents were killed by orcs, like at some point in time, like they will meet an orcish war party that's like wearing their mother's jewelry or something like that. You know what I mean?
Wasn't
like,
sure where you're going with that.
Yeah. Well, right. I get,
wearing their mother's
I'm like
jewelry.
bloomers. Yeah. The exactly. The all of my campaigns are set in the frontiersy West. You have to know that about.
Oh, I love that.
No, man, that's rad. So if you then, like, that's how you start campaigns, right? And if they are more, improv based, but you have a feel for what they're going to be, how they're going to be ish. What would you say, from the pillars of like role play, combat, exploration, puzzles, etc., mystery, like out of those kind of four, do you intentionally are there times where you're like, okay, there has to be combat, or man, I have to put in a puzzle, or is it more freeform?
I would say it's more freeform, and I'll tell you because I love combat. When I started, I'm like, I just want to fight.
Sure,
but eventually, it's like, okay, I roll, I either hit or I miss. It's kind of like not boring, but I like to make it so that there are options. So there's never a fight, with the exception of the tutorial. There's never like a fight that they have to fight. I mean, I've tried to stress that there's never a fight you have to fight. There are other options. They like fighting. But, I'm open if they want to try and talk their way through it, or charm or sneak or whatever. It's like there's always other options. There are some things I put in like that are puzzles that they have to solve to get to the next thing.
Yes,
but I try to do a mix, so it's never just like a session of all combat. It's never like a temple with it. It's just fighting one thing and then the next and the next. I like to spice it up. So even if it is combat, I want to give them other things to do. So if you're fighting,
example of that.
Yeah, like so if you're in like a tavern fight, you could just do I swing, I hit, or I swing, I miss. But then also, what if you see outside that all the loot you had is being carted off by someone? It's like, someone's gonna have to disengage from the fight to go fight them, or a fire breaks out behind the bar, and all of a sudden, it's like, what's more important, fighting these brawlers or like rescuing the child upstairs? It's like giving them other things that they have to choose between.
Yes, I love that.
Kind of spices it up, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude, that's so how it is. Root, get in here, buddy. Thou art missed. Dude, I love that. I love that answer, Cam, because like it really is. Sometimes I do love a good old fashioned 6 party members versus 2 frost giants and some shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But even then, way more satisfying if an area of the map is susceptible to a rockfall or an avalanche, or like way more motivating, right? If these frost giants just came and undid the bridge that the party had just helped the woodsman collect wood for, or whatever the fuck. So it's like there are kind of like levels to that. Yeah, man, that's well put. Like it is like with your homebrew, because, and I ask this because for me it's often adjacent to combat, but do you in these campaigns, and you can totally be like, I bet you wish you knew the answer to this, but like whenever you begin these campaigns, like is there not like a final thing, but is there a, some tableau or some scene or some encounter that for you is down the tracks? You know what I mean? Or is it rarely that specific? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah, there's like a final thing. I don't know what paths they'll take to get there.
Yeah.
But there is like, they have their mission that they learn more about over time. It's like, and there is a final thing to do. They don't know what it is.
Sure.
Do I? Kind of.
A bit.
But it will also be molded by what they do throughout the entire time getting there.
Yes.
But there's some. Dude, I have ideas.
I love that. So yeah, sounds like a yes. And I love the idea, very smart, to sort of wrap that in the understanding of there are many ways to Rome.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what cracks me up, dude. Like in the reference point of the Tuesday campaign and hell. And Evie, you're totally right. Like I was prepped up to the max for that. I should have known that they would immediately. I mean, it was so funny. But a good buddy of mine that plays in it, he is actually an attorney. He works for the district attorney, which, let me tell you, you haven't had a rules lawyer until you played with an actual lawyer. Whoa. He's so good. It's just ridiculous. But they basically, the next session were like, man, we fucked up, right? Like, we should have, stayed in or whatever. And I just kind of smiled. This was so true. I was like, all roads lead to hell. Like it's don't worry. Like hell will either find you or like, like we're at the end of this thing. It's popping off. That's brilliant, man. I love that. Well, in the campaign you guys are in right now, and obviously it's impossible to say, I've been wrong every time I've tried to guesstimate where I am in the arc. I'm like, I'm halfway. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, where do you kind of see this campaign being? Are you early stages, mid? Are you kind of late campaign?
This is real early.
Okay, sick. Okay.
Yeah, we started it a while ago. We took almost like a 1.5 year hiatus, basically, because different things came up, and like I went back to school and stuff like that. But there's a lot left to be done. This could go for years, like it's kind of open-ended, but early stages. They're only level, I don't know, 6, 5, 6. I don't know. They got a lot of growth.
I love that. Okay. So it's going to be going on. That's
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to stream that. And do you guys have a dedicated day of the week? It's Sunday, right? Isn't it weekend?
Yeah, we do Sundays. Well, so here's the thing: we have people on the West Coast, like so your time all the way to Guff's in the UK, so it's like an 8-hour time difference. So there's limited times where we can all meet. So we go from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. sharp on Sundays, and because some people work right up till 3 p.m. and have to be out at 6, so that's our dedicated.
It's always good to have that blocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously it's slightly more complicated whenever you're streaming it. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
So how about this? This is another question I'd love to ask. What like, we know the things that have brought you to the table and kept you there. And we also have a, good feeling for like Cam's preferences when DMing, like how you kind of lean on your skill set, sprinkle in the party and the backstories of your players. What do you hate about DMing? You know what I mean? What drives you crazy?
Oh, right now, I'll tell you right now, I'm porting over to a program called Questline. I don't know. Is
it like a Roll20 or what?
It's Roll20-esque, but Roll20 is very laggy on a lot of our computers. So rebuilding everything is
the rebuild
annoying. And it's a great program, except you can't cut and paste things. Like you have to drag each asset on. It won't stay the size. Like, so if I'm dragging a bunch of the same thing on, I have to resize each one. I guess what I'm saying is the prep. The prepping. Like, so 95% of
but
DMing.
this the fucking prep. Oh my gosh. Just how you say it, where like the fact that you have to resize multiple tokens that you would love to resize once and copy and paste.
Yep.
I know that feeling. Have you ever used Owlbear?
I think someone posted that link in my Discord. I haven't. I've only used Roll20. This is the first other one I'm trying.
Because I think of Foundry as being kind of the one,
Hmm.
but the learning curve, not that I've gone through this, I've just witnessed it,
Yeah,
but the learning curve is a little more significant. But
that's what I've heard.
with Owlbear, it has felt extremely fluid
Owlbear.
and intuitive. It's owlbear.rodeo, which,
Okay, I'm gonna write it down.
I know there's a lot of rodeo themes in your campaign.
Yeah, that seems like it would
It
fit.
plays right in. Yeah, dude, the prep can
Owlbear.
be intense. I will say this about Owlbear, because it led to definitely the most like meltdown adjacent moment for me as a DM. I'm like,
Ooh.
no! I'm just like the kid with his neck. But Owlbear
yeah.
uses caches to track your everything, like inventory, maps, layout. And there'd been some situation, I cannot remember what was going on. It was related to work, and I was somewhere else. I think I was shooting in Austin, but my wife had to send me something, or send a client something from my external drives. And it was really on the client's end, like his downloads kept timing out because he had unstable internet. But because I'd sent the download link so many times, it was just messing up like the viability of me sharing the link. Something to do with retransfer.
no.
I reached out to them. Retransfer was like, just clear the cache.
Oh,
So of
no.
course, understandably, my wife was like, should I clear the cache? I'm like, of course, like, go for it. But I forgot about the Owlbear. And dude, Cam, whenever I say that they were in the BBEG's lair mid-fight, they were in the BBEG's lair mid-fight. I mean, like, so much. Like, super like spacing where enemies are, where concentrated spells are, all these traps, like all these assets on the map. And I remember we opened it up to pick it up, and I was like so ready, because I'm like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like, this is TPK country.
Yep.
And had to immediately squash and be like, oh fuck. Talk amongst yourself, guys. And then had to spend like 8 frantic minutes, just putting everything
Redragging.
back.
Yep.
But that pain is, it's a labor of love, but it's tough when you do it twice.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's one of the hardest things. What do you think the hardest class to DM for is in your experience?
Ooh, I mean, it's tough to say. I think out of the limited classes I've DM'd, probably, I think probably the Warlock, because of the patron
got it.
aspect.
And is that more finding ways to like actualize that relationship, or more like it feels a little like making it unique feels challenging? Like, what is it about it that is tough?
Yeah, I mean it's another NPC to play. So right off the
You're
bat,
like, first off, I got to warm up.
it's hard to improvise a deity who, like, because the player knows how they view their patron, or what they're, I mean, in most cases they have an idea of what it is, so it's kind of hard to improvise like genuinely. So it takes more like, okay, so you have this god, I have to actually know about the god, and I have to know, like, and coming up with like, what's an appropriate thing. Should I take away your powers because you didn't do the thing? Like, that seems kind of jerkish. It's just, I guess if I can't improvise it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But I mean, it
funny.
hasn't been that difficult. But I mean, the players have been really good about, I'm like, and I'm also not, I'm not a proud man. If I don't know what something is, I'll be like, what does that do?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. What is
so they're
that?
good at saying that, or I'll have them D&D. Everything's on D&D Beyond as well, so I can look at their sheet and be like, oh, okay, that's what that spell is.
Got it.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, it's like there hasn't been a class that's specifically difficult, because I played the difficult ones. Like, I played, the fighter with the martial dice or whatever, and the battle master, then wizards with their 1 billion spells, and warlocks with, like, packed slots and things like that.
For sure.
So I'm a little bit familiar. I bet an artificer would be tough to DM. I haven't had to yet, but they seem like they have so much going on.
Dude, they do.
Yeah.
I built one as an NPC, and I was like, what the shit was that? And but I've never DM'd for one, and I could see it being that way, if only that the creation of magic items, and just sort of like the brass tacks of, I guess an artificer always feels kind of steampunk to me.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't really fit into maybe like a Tolkien Dark Ages kind of
it's
world.
weird.
So that can be tough, but I felt good about this character because it's almost like he can just stone shape stuff really well. It's almost like he is like a high level mason more than he is an artificer, you know? But
You're adapting it.
Totally. Which just like everything, like reskinning can be the solution.
Yes.
Like the way, you know?
I support reskinning.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. Remapping it. Yeah, absolutely.
I would suggest that. Gervanch, what the F, my dude? Get in here. Digital hug. Come on.
Gervanch.
I'm here with Cam. Cam is another actor, extremely talented dude, GM, DM. The first time Gervanch ever played D&D was on this stream, baby boy. Let's go. Let's
go.
And Evie, I will 100% check that out. That's awesome. I'm doing so well, Gervanch. I appreciate it. We're talking a little D&D. So, Cam, do you, like, whenever because you're clearly aware of the meta aspects of playing. You know, we've got some of your table in the chat. I love it. Thank you for the follows and for coming through, guys. So are there moments where either of these things happens or both? One, where you are rolling to determine what happens off screen.
I'm so glad you asked that.
That's one. And then two, do you ever just roll to just fuck with them? You know what I mean? To like pump fake. Those are my questions too.
Okay. So question one, yes. I'm a big fan of like how would I say it? Like we're doing it live. Like if you're standing there and I'll give you an example if you want. At one point they were traversing like a gap or a chasm or whatever, and one of their dudes like fell and was holding on by a rope. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll, and if I get a 1, he drops.
Yeah.
And I'll roll every 5 or 6 seconds, say, and so that way if they're like having a what should we do? Should we help? It's like, hey, you guys are on the clock, just so you know.
Yes.
And then guess what? He plummeted. That's happened a couple times.
How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did he bounce back?
But, he did not bounce. They did find him later.
He did not recovered.
He did not bounce.
That's hilarious. I love that, man. And is that because, like, and it could be equal parts, is that more, because it's easier for you, the DM? Does that feel more accurate? Like, what leads to those moments?
Raising stakes. Like hell yeah. And you know what it is? Here it is. The first D&D I ever saw in media was Community. I don't know, the episode's off the air now.
Yes.
But there was a part where, the subplot is that it's the dad and Jack like arguing or whatever. But in the D&D game, they were standing there arguing about how they were going to kill the guy. And then when they finally go in, the DM is just like, well, he heard you talking about how you're going to kill him, so he fled. And I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's like they can hear if you're not purposely whispering, like, stuff is happening, you're doing it live. So if you're taking your time to figure out stuff, well, something might happen. I had one encounter where they were on a road and I go, hey guys, give me your check or whatever. Okay, you hear horses coming. And then I started a timer. And then whatever the time was when they said they were gonna jump into the bushes, that adjusted their difficulty check to hide.
Yes.
And
how long they lingered.
Exactly. So it would be like a DC 10 plus however long it took them to hide or whatever. And I just think it's cool.
Yeah,
I think it's neat.
That is cool. That is super neat.
Yeah.
No, Cam, that's great, man. Because that is super realistic.
Yeah.
And I also love that it then, like that to me, yeah, like the most recent session we had, they have been fighting like hell to get to the spine of the world because this army of orcs has like cornered like the oldest and perhaps last living dragon. And they finally like got into the cavern to like Trisolidon's lair, and they're like, fuck, what do we do? Like, how are we going to do this? And there's just orcs like kind of busting through. And that feeling, well, is like one, like what's happening in the situation, but it's so real world in crisis, in battle, in whatever, where like you do need to stop and communicate and come up with a plan, but that's almost always coming at the expense of something else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, people come up with the wildest solutions when it's a time crunch. It's like if they can stand and think about how they're going to escape for as long as they want, okay, they'll come up with a neat, foil-proof or fail-proof plan. But if it's like, hey, you hear guards, like they're coming, it's like, okay, I throw down a smoke bomb, or they don't have smoke bombs. But,
I cast
like,
smoke
what
bomb.
do you do? Yeah, exactly. And it's just like that's the stuff.
Yeah, dude. The more, like, what's the highest level of like party that you've DM'd for?
This current one.
Okay, awesome. Which is like 5, 6.
I think they're 6. I feel like they're level 6 because they might be 5. Guff or Rokugo, if you're there, if you can confirm, because they have the multi-attack. Like they have 2 attacks on their action, so I think that's 5.
Both 5 and 6 are like pretty.
Yeah.
I guess 5 is more significant, but both are like pretty.
Yeah. I think it's 5. Anywhere thereabouts. Actually, the highest I've ever played is 13. I've never got past 13.
That's so fun. I think me as a player, outside of some one shots, I think I'm also at 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But this, I only ask not to like, like whatever. Not that there's a right or wrong answer. I have been blown away by how much more difficult a high level party is, but how much more I'm able to do what you just described, which is like, okay, they're facing a dragon, and you know what? They're facing 2 dragons. Fuck it.
Yep.
Like it does not matter. Like the balance is crumpled up and thrown out the window of a moving car into a recycling plant.
Naturally.
But it's like, it's astounding to me because so much of the DM of like what feels successful for me is whenever I can truthfully present the world and challenge the players, and the players felt like they got what they wanted or a version of what they wanted, And so yeah, I think as this campaign goes on, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, because like, especially around level 10, like it's a big jump, like there's more hit points, there's more resources, and it's cool. It's just there's been a couple encounters where I've been destroyed.
Oh yeah, the balancing is tricky. It's especially tricky because the first time I ran this, I remembered this, they were level 1, but these guys started at level 3. So a lot of the first encounters, it was like, oh, you okay?
Yeah.
You like one hit that. Okay, great.
Yeah, you critted and they're dead.
Balance it. Well, that even happened in our last session. It's like the snakes that we were talking about, and I think it was Rococola actually, like just hit a like 29 damage guiding light, and I was like, okay, well, he's dead.
Wow, that's amazing.
He's dead. You killed him or whatever. Yeah, and it's just like, all right.
Way to go, Rococo.
Way to go.
Dude, that is so
but my big bosses, I'll tell you, I've had to, because of a thing that happened, I found out that a player was not like screen peeking, but they had looked up the bad guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And they said it was so that they knew if it had any like magic resistances, so they could inform me. Fine. But
that
from then
is
on, I
such a great cover.
It's a great cover.
Such a great cover. Dude,
And
I
you know
was
what?
doing this to help you DM.
Yeah. But it led to innovation. And now I homebrew my big bosses. So you can't. What I try to do when I make puzzles and riddles and bosses, I don't want you to be able to Google them. That's like, I trust my play. Ooh, is that
It's back, bro. Do we have it?
I heard
The bugles are back. I don't know why it wasn't. It just needed to warm up. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah, that's my goal is I trust my players, but if they, if they were frustrated and tried to Google an answer to a riddle, guess what? It's not on Google. Your
Yeah.
boy made it up.
Dude, I love that. I think every
Yeah.
DM knows that. Evie is an incredible DM. She's over at, not from afar. What is wrong with me? I know it starts with an A. Oh my gosh, Evie. Altered Echo. Jeez Louise. I almost almost had a stroke. No, but it's almost like a collective. They run a couple different systems, couple different games.
Oh, sweet.
She's
Check
awesome.
that out.
But Evie does a ton of homebrew. And
Yes.
it's funny, like that is such a great kind of guarding against any sort of, meta discovery of enemy, right? As being like, well, it actually
Even
hasn't
by
been
accident.
published,
Yeah. Oh, hey, you can look this up, but guess what? I'm adjusting it on the
Yeah.
fly, so you will not know.
Dude, for sure. No, for sure. I one time the party, they were crossing across the map, and it was many sessions of them just traveling and a lot of random encounters and blah blah. Yes, Cypher and Xtel, I love it, dude. I hope to be there for that. That's awesome, Evie. But the party was about to have an encounter with boulets. Those creatures that like burrow and come out. They're almost like, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like they've got the big jaws, like almost like an orca, but like a land orca made of
Like
metal,
dune worms?
but smaller,
but metal
Yeah,
and smaller. Got it.
exactly. They honestly like remind me of like a Pokemon, like maybe like a Steelix.
Steelix.
kind of vibe,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Got that.
But not as big, a little smaller.
Right.
But
Okay.
they're at this like guard post, and they're about to head east, and the guard is more or less like, well, be careful because, the land gets a little crazy to the east. And the ranger is like, what? Like, what are there, land sharks? And I almost stopped the session. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Wait. Oh, wait, hang on. What the? There it is. Okay, I needed the honk.
Nice.
Let's go. But but I was like, how did you? And I talked to him later. He was like, oh no, man, I had no idea that was even a thing, but they were going to fight them 10 minutes later. And it's kind of changed
That's funny.
a lot about, well, I changed all my passwords, obviously. That was the first thing.
Yeah, of course. Of
You know,
course.
I had to, right? Out of respect for my lore.
Yep.
But it was just kind of one of those things. Like sometimes it happens and you're so worried about the meta-ing that it gets to the point where I'm like, that's part of the joy of homebrew. I feel like it's like, you know what?
Yes.
You're not going to know, but actually like fire damage heals this creature.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Enjoy. God, that's so good, dude. So do you ever do the empty dice roll pump fake? Can you answer that?
Without knowing 100% knowing what you're talking about, I'm gonna go with the absolutely yes.
Right.
Definitive yes.
Dude, I love that. You're like, not knowing the full question, I'm gonna lean in. Yeah, no, that is whenever something is happening, maybe the party is dallying, but sometimes it's rare, but sometimes I'll just pick up a dice and roll it. Because about half the time they're like, yo, he just rolled something. And especially in person, it fucks people up. Late honk.
Yes.
It fucks them up. Because they're like, oh my gosh. Like, whoa, wait, hang on, wait, he did something.
Wait, just rolled. Yeah.
Like, is that part of the kind of poker face for you, or is it kind of beyond that?
No, every dice roll should be taken seriously.
Yes. Okay, I like that. The spook roll is what Evie calls that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but no, I do. I sometimes I'll do but you'll never know when it's fake. But yeah.
Yeah, well, of course.
Roll some
yeah.
dice.
No,
I love rolling dice.
I, as a player, will sometimes just roll a dice to like feel it leave my hand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And typically, it's a good dice roll wasted.
In
my
always,
right?
Almost always.
I'm like 17. Dude, that's so good. So, man, like we're gonna do, guys. We will be doing the rapid fire. All right. Everyone gets super pumped. For those of you unaware, get ready. Get ready
now?
to shit your britches. No, it's not quite this moment.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't think anyone is actually going to defecate, but do get prepared. But I want to know like more. Have there been any moments, like just brag on yourself? Have there been any moments It could be an encounter, maybe a reveal, maybe like a twist that wasn't seen coming, or perhaps like an incorporation of lore or backstory. But are there any moments from your campaigns that stand out to you as particularly satisfying as a DM?
Oh, I mean, yes. The players are they're so good at doing the epic thing. Okay, so I mean, those dice rolls I was mentioning where the people fall. There was another one shortly after where they were stuck in underwater in a hole like a drain, and they were acting against the clock to save them. And
Yes.
one thing to add, when I'm streaming, I do have channel points that people can use to give inspiration, or a reroll or something. So the role, they're role playing against the clock. They're like, we tie a rope, he's gonna dive in, he's gonna try and save him. Oh, the roll's too low. Oh, they have a reroll saved up. I have the DC in my head. They just hit it, and it's like tears to my eyes, like the epic role play.
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later, they're confronted with enemies, and they're like, it was this person's fault. Here, have him. And it's like, what? You just saved him. And then, but it's immensely satisfying when I set something up and they just knock it. They knock it right down. It's like they know what I want without me saying, and they do it. Another satisfying thing is when they fall for my tricks, and they don't know it's
my
a
little
trick.
tricks.
What is? You know what? I'm blanking on the name. It's a Wheel of Time village.
The one that's a ghost town.
The one. Hinderstrap.
Okay.
Hinder.
I don't.
Hinder.
What's it like? How does it fit into the plot?
So Matt and company stay there for the night, and after the sun goes down, the residents turn into zombies.
Yeah. Okay, so it is that kind of ghosty, ghouly town. Yes. For sure.
So they're through that town. But the thing is, I set it up. They went into town. They had some warnings that they shouldn't stay past night, but they no one accepted currency. What they accepted was acts of service. So if you wanted a meal, you could move barrels for, a couple hours. And they just did it. They didn't even question it. They did the task. Oh, guess what? It's nightfall. And that was actually where we ended for our 1.5-year hiatus, is when they were headed up the stairs to their room.
For 1.5 years, I was cooking.
Yep. And they were like, it's zombies. End of session. Took 1.5 years. And then they got that whole thing. Yes, that is borrowed. It's based on Wheel of Time stuff. It's not exact. Don't worry. But when they fall for my shit, I finish stream. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yes.
Didn't even question.
Yes.
Why they were. What do you mean they don't take currency?
Yeah, and dude, what is the connection there? Do they do that to try to keep people in town longer?
So the connection. What's happening to that village? They figured it out that it's a curse by now. But so they every morning, I think it's Hinder.
I think you're right.
Yeah, every morning, even if they reappear in their beds, even if they get killed, if they can only go a day's travel from their village, because every morning they reappear in their bed. So they don't need currency because they can't go anywhere to spend it. So instead, it's like a barter. You do this for me, I'll give this to you.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit to trap unwary travelers.
That's so good, Cam. I love
that. It's fun. I mean, a couple of at least I think 2 of their NPCs, because of timing and poor rolls, died. So they're now trapped in the village. They came back the next morning, but now they're trapped in the village.
And these are NPCs that were traveling with the party.
Yeah.
God, that's intense.
Not anymore.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Bilbo Swaggins is now forever trapped.
That's a great name.
Yeah, everybody
Bilbo
always
Swaggins.
says dildo, but you gotta pivot the last name. That's
their favorite NPC is a rat boy named Sixel. Yeah, he's unconscious. They convinced him to leave his tribe. Came with them. He's unconscious. They're dragging him around with them.
The rat boy fell prey to the cursed village.
No, he actually survived.
Okay, thank God.
But then they're just carrying with them everywhere. But he's unconscious. He can't be woken up.
Someone heal this man.
They tried. He's unhealable at this point.
Okay, that's not good. Oh my gosh. Well, dude, in that same kind of vein, like, have there been any, like, of your homebrew monsters or any monsters in general, like, that you really enjoyed running? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all my homebrew monsters are sick. The very first one, and the one that the very first homebrew I made inspired by that incident was, it was like a giant boar, but it's an immolating giant boar. So at the end of its turn, it's kind of like Hellish Rebuke, but if it would shoot out fire, and anyone within 5 feet had to, like do a save or get burned, and it was giving them a run for their money. But what had happened is one of the NPCs they were with had lore that they didn't know about, and due to the difficulty of the fight, he kind of came into his own. He remembered his past as a paladin and was able to help them win the fight. And it's just like the improv and like
yeah.
when it all fits together, and like he helps them win, and it was sick. It was so good. And I mean, the boar, his abilities fluctuated depending on how they were doing. Kind of like, is he resistant to damage, or does he have less HP? It's kind of like, we want to make it a good fight.
Yeah. You're like, he's raging,
epic.
but he dropped his rage. Dude, that's hilarious. So like that moment, whenever the combat directly plays into roleplay, or even better yet, the rounds of combat give rise to some beautiful roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful, dude. Like, that's where it goes down. Like, I love that, man. That's amazing. So it feels like with that, like, has there ever been a player death?
No, not to this point.
Happy for you, dude. Happy for
to
you
this
players,
point.
all right?
Happy for There's
no blood on your hands, all right? Keep
not
it that
yet.
way.
We did have a player who had to like step away for a while, so but I left her fate unknown. Like, it was implied, but not, like the off-screen deaths that you don't confirm.
Right,
and then she was able to return later, so it was nice to have that open-ended.
Yes, that is great. It's tough whenever they strip themselves naked, stab themselves in the stomach, and then go staggering into the woods.
They're definitely dead.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. He turns over and moons you, and then boards a ship and departs.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, last thing, and then we'll move into the rapid fire, and then honestly, we still have quite a lot to do, dude. You have to do some Shakespeare with me. And
oh man.
Then we get to regale the chat and the viewership with a video from.
Oh yeah.
When do you think this was posted?
Yeah. Sometime in 2020, surely.
May 8th, 2019.
What?
Yeah, that was way earlier.
Before.
Exactly. Blew my mind. But here's the thing. But in 2020, I think is whenever like a lot of the pre-production started.
Right.
For Wheel of Time.
Right. Oh, I forgot. Because
I also thought it was 2020. Same.
Dang.
But dude, I'm curious what. Let me just double check it. Yes, I'm curious your position on traps. And you know what? Mm-hmm. Just go ahead for the hell of it. Roll a dex save for me right now, if you don't mind. All right, just
me.
Just as a vibe check. Yes, Cam. I'm trying to do this to you, dude.
No, don't be. I have my dice right here.
I knew you would.
I have it's a gift, Legend of Zelda dice, my two favorite things.
Dude, that's incredible. Can I see that? What do the dice look like?
They're green and yellow.
That's beautiful.
Triforces was the 20s.
That's beautiful.
Let's see. It was a gift. Absolutely lovely. All right.
Wow.
The number on the die is a 12.
Okay, well I think you probably have a +3. So you would save and take half damage, which is great because I rolled 3d8 and I rolled. What kind of
trap is this?
Yeah, it's a fucking crunching pit trap, dude. You fall down onto some wooden spikes, you catch yourself in time. But you feel going up through your sweet tushy and cutting through your boots. These piercing spikes of wood. Dude,
my tushy?
Yeah, your tushy's wounded. I rolled 2 8s and a 7. So that's pretty. That's 23 reduced down to 11. That's hilarious.
Wow, that would be like half of a lot of my people's health.
So how do you? But like, do you like traps? Like, are they like if there's something you run? How do you feel about allowing your players agency to avoid them. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, how are traps present in your encounters in dungeon?
I do traps. I try to like spice them up. Again, it's like homebrewed traps. Like what
Yeah.
fits the scenario instead of picking like a D&D one, and I'll set my own DC and the damage
For sure.
if they fail or whatever. But for the most part, after like one, they get very good at checking. And then I'll make them do it for me, because it's also like, are you going to let them do as many sleight of hands as possible to do it, or does one fail trigger it?
Right.
But so I try to avoid things that are, it's like, well, you could just do this over and over and over. So for me, if they don't see a trap and they fail to disarm it, they're going to take some dammy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
But they're pretty good. They're good at checking now.
Got you. I love that. Yeah, typically it's only like one or two, and then the party will check vehemently for the next 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's
Exactly.
like kind of a guaranteed situation. Oh my gosh. All right, Cam, you've been such a peach.
Hell yeah.
If you just felt the music
I did.
change, chat. Agreed. Puzzle traps are fun. Agreed. You get good. That's so great. Yeah, the idea of like taking damage while you're trying to figure out a puzzle is, to me, extremely satisfying.
Yep.
Because it kind of pisses me off. Okay, Cam. Here's the deal. Dude.
All right.
Here's the fucking deal.
Okay.
The rapid fire.
All right.
What happens is I'm gonna hit you with a series, okay, of binary questions.
Okay.
Like, do you prefer sushi or barbecue, etc.
Okay.
And you just fire away. There's no wrong
got it.
answer. Give us your thoughts. And yeah, do you have any questions?
Nope. I'm ready.
Okay, are you prepared for the rapid fire?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, well, let's find out. Let's find out very, very quickly. Okay. Okay. I just have to do this one. Sorry, I just forgot I had that preset. Here we go. So, with no further ado, the rapid fire. Table snacks, Cam. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Sweet. How do you build characters? Standard array, point buy, or 46 drop lowest?
46, drop lowest.
I love it. That's how I do it too. Let those dice roll.
Yep.
Vampires or werewolves?
Absolutely vampires.
I love that. Cowboys or pirates?
Pirates.
Pirates, let's go. Giants or dragons?
Dragons.
Okay, if someone attempts to sleight of hand one of your players, do you give them a perception check or use their passive perception?
Perception check.
Okay, you're a kind DM. I love that. I'm kind of situational with that, but I agree. D100 or D12?
D100.
Yeah, dude, no one goes with that one. Okay.
Hell yeah. We love a D100.
I like it too. Have you ever played Call of Cthulhu?
No.
Okay, we should chop it up about that.
Okay.
Elf or dwarf?
Elf.
Gnome or halfling?
Halfling.
Tabaxi or tiefling?
Ooh, tiefling.
Turtle? And I want you to know, we stand turtles on the show. Turtle or turtle?
Turtle.
Good choice, my friend.
Turtle.
Good choice. So, if you, let me ask this. Okay, scarier thing to encounter in a dungeon. A small boy that's lost and somehow immaculately clean, or an old woman wearing rags that won't stop laughing.
The small boy.
Really? Yeah, what's going on there?
What's going on there?
Yeah,
That's
fair
why.
question. How are you so clean, my boy?
How are you so clean? What are you doing?
Fair question. If you had to jam yourself into one of the following player categories, which would it be? The edgelord, the min-maxer, the rules lawyer, or the actor?
The actor.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah.
Not everyone is an actor, so I still have to ask it.
Yep.
Okay, a cleric, a bard, and a warlock all walk into a dungeon. Which one comes out?
The cleric.
The cleric? Okay, I love it. Why the cleric?
Healing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Self-healing.
Fair enough. He's the only one that isn't like chopped wide open. Okay, wizard or sorcerer?
Wizard.
Cleric or warlock?
Warlock.
Fighter or paladin?
Fighter.
Druid or ranger?
Druid.
Let's go. And last question
Okay.
of the CPOX rapid fire. Yes or no? Should cats have dark vision?
Yes.
I agree, dude. What the is going on.
They do, don't they?
No, they don't.
In real life?
Well, in real life, yeah, for sure. They're like kicking it around all over the place. But for some reason, they are not in the monster manual.
What?
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I know about cats.
I agree.
They can see in the dark.
And if you ever owned a cat and just been like assassinated by one on your way to the restroom at 3:17 a.m., then you definitely know they can see in the dark.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, dude, I love that. Motion
How'd I
vision.
do?
Okay, well, same vibe. They can see in the dark, right? Cam, that was excellent.
Okay,
You are a peach and a minch as always.
Oh, thank you.
So here's the deal.
True sight.
Yeah, exactly. Cats have true sight. Respect that. Let me pull up the Shakespeare we're about to do.
All right. I don't know what's required of me for this.
Well, don't worry. You got the goods. I'm going to send this to you. Evie was kind enough to redeem a Shakespeare. We have a ton of different redemptions. Karaoke, Shakespeare. You can redeem and see because it's the season of Shakespeare EPAs here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So it's been
okay.
very helpful for me to, just have a reason to do it. Exactly.
Okay.
So let me get this right. I'm going to send it to you. Sorry, let me just open this. This one's...
That's it. If you're sending it, can I run to the bathroom real quick?
Yes, please do.
Okay,
brother.
I'll do that and be right back.
100%. I'm all by myself. I'm all alone. Guys, it's all good, okay? I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I don't feel the need to press forward. I am fine. Now, I don't know where the heck this scene is, though, so I'm actually glad that my boy gave me a moment. And normally, guys, I would let, like, Evie redeemed it, so I guess it would be her call. I mean, she's doing it, I think, for Rococo. Shout out. Chat on chat assistance. You love to see it. But normally, I let you guys send me stuff. Like, I mean, it can be whatever. It could be poetry. It could be something you want read. If you want it done in a certain dialect, be happy to oblige, obviously within reason. But I'm going to pick today's because, one, it needs to be kind of a call and response, but also because this is a piece that I'm going to be doing in about 2 weeks. So I'd love to have a reason to do it. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. Act 3, Scene 2. This is it. Yes. Great. Okay, cool. So I hope you guys enjoy. And let me just send this to my boy.
I am ready.
Yes,
for Shakespeare.
there he is. We were just chilling. We were just vamping. No big deal.
I just had something I thought was more appropriate top-wise, so I slipped into it.
Let's go, dude. Look at you.
Sense.
That is absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It also can double as like this Seinfeld fancy shirt.
Yep. It's my ruffled blouse.
Oh, no. My goodness. It's smoothed out. Okay. Evie, good to know. Guys, let us know if it was skipping for anybody else. Let me real quick adjust that framing. Okay, awesome. Yeah. I can drop you in also, Cam, if that's more helpful.
Oh, yeah. I was...
we love a rough.
I was just posturing for the ruffle.
Oh, okay. I love it. You're like, I know the framing. That's an awesome shirt, dude.
Thank you. We got it for an improv competition.
That's hilarious.
There. Okay, so what's happening?
Let me. I'm going down to find it for you and send it to you.
Okay.
Is this the whole? Jeez Louise. This is the whole thing. Here we go. Hang on. Where are you?
Yeah.
Let's get which one is the scene. Da-da-da. What the F? Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry. Henry IV, part 1, you rascals, not part 2. No wonder. That was really throwing me off. Okay. I finally have
Oh,
it.
Lord.
We are back. We are secured. Seguro, as they say.
Oh, what do they say that in?
Yeah, in Spanish.
Oh, okay. Oh, I haven't got there yet. In Duolingo.
Dude, Duolingo is the best. Okay, so open that bad boy up, Cam, and you are going to be reading. Are you familiar with Henry IV?
Oh man, I am not a theater.
Play?
I am not a theater boy.
All good.
I've done some, but not. No, I'm not a professional.
All good. No, hey.
But I can read, so.
Well, this begins line 96. Okay. And for those of you at home, essentially what's happening is this is Henry IV, part 1. And Henry IV is who Cam is playing. That is King Henry IV, obviously.
King? Okay.
Now, the play, even though it's called Henry IV, part 1, is really more centered around Henry IV's son, Hal, who would go on to be Henry V. But Hal, who's played by me, is kind of like a ne'er-do-well, like hanging out in taverns. He like hangs out with some like low reputation knights. You know, they're kind of messing about, but you learn from an early speech in Act 1 that Hal essentially is doing this is aware of this behavior and intends to almost throw it off to like redeem himself to his father and represent himself to his father. And so this scene is the end of Act 3. And in the setting, essentially, there's been like a rebellion. There's people that are gathering arms and they're marching on London and they're sort of turning against the lion's head, so to speak. They're marching against Henry IV. And they're being led by this young kind of gallant upstart by the name of Hotspur. And Hotspur is sort of held up by my dad as being like the man. And I, by comparison, am not the man. So that's sort of the thrust of what's going on right here. And Cam, I'm so sorry. Give me just 45 seconds.
No rush.
To double check, and I will be right back. Hang on.
Yeah. I'll just read. You know what? I'm not even going to read it. We're going to do it live. I'm going to do a cold read. Now, there's some sort of iambic pentameter for Shakespeare. Is that correct? I haven't read a lot of Shakespeare. Do I have to read this in a certain way, or do I just go for it? I have the ruffled blouse on, and it makes me feel Shakespearean. Freeballing that Shakespeare. We're shaking some spears. I'll tell you what. Cold reads. It's a skill you gotta work on. There's a lot of auditions for theater that I've done. Not professional theater like Shakespeare, but community theater. They just give you sides and you read it. You don't get to see it ahead of time. A Brooklyn accent? Oh, I wouldn't dare affect an American accent with a true American. Brooklyn, like, hey, I'm walking here for all the world. Yeah. I don't want to compromise the sanctity of Shakespeare. But
thank you.
I could try.
Thank you.
Instead of iambic pentameter,
So
just the Brooklyn pentameter.
Wait, say it again.
Oh, I'm just we were discussing the idea of a Brooklyn accent, and I said that would be offensive.
Oh, that would be so great.
So William,
To be or not to be? That's the question. You know?
come on, for all the world.
That really, yeah. Hey, man, we totally can. Okay, so with no further ado, guys, Cam, you are the man. You can do no wrong. I would normally do this standing up, but I don't want to reframe this. So,
Yep.
Whenever you're ready, man, let it rip.
So we're starting with the King for all the world.
I can lead you in with that line if you like.
I was just asking if I have to read it in a specific, like, iambic pentameter. That is
obviously how it's written, right? Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Usually the emphasis is on the end of the line. There
Okay.
are exceptions to that, and they're pretty clear, like when there's keywords. Dude, read it however you want to read it. The big thing, and this is a great example. Let me just real quick actually just pull this up so maybe people can follow along. This
Nice.
This
Yeah.
might be cool, especially if you like Shakespeare. This is kind of a cool thing that I'm about to share, I think. And it's me just
Yeah, and if I miss a word, you can tell me.
Dude, exactly. And then we can just accost Cam for not being off book for this 500-year-old thing.
Yeah.
No, let me change this because cool. So if you see right here, Prince, I shall hereafter, my thrice gracious Lord, be more myself.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's called a shared line in Shakespeare. Because there's usually, there's usually 10 syllables.
Okay.
Or what they call 5 feet, like a foot is like a 2-syllable unit. But this one, be more myself for all the world, right?
Okay.
And he does a lot of those. And it's beautiful whenever the language is like really rehearsed. I mean, there's a lot of Romeo and Juliet that like share couplets and share verse. And so...
Okay.
So I more bring that up like, dude, let's just have some fun. You know what I mean?
All right.
And I will... Not to like mansplain Shakespeare. I more just also love it. And like, it's a passion of mine.
Yeah, I'd like to do it right.
No, listen, the fact we're doing it is doing it right, But Dr. Sidney Berger, who's a beast, and who actually me and my wife studied under, the way he would describe punctuation was he almost described it as like the lane demarcations on a road.
Mm-hmm.
A period is a full stop. You can stop as long as you like.
Okay.
A comma is typically a pause, but more separates ideas and gives you more leniency to go out of verse, back into it, whatever. And then anything that continues on to the next line, which is very common in Shakespeare, and my speech has a lot of those, you'll typically maybe hit the end of the line, but you continue on with the thought because it's one thought, right? And, I don't say that we're like, Cam, this is how it needs to be. It needs to be.
No, I'll try.
Dude, you just do your thing. Don't worry about any of this at all right now. That was more just because it's...
I'm worried.
Cam, you seem super worried, dude. No. Okay, man, yeah. Whenever you're ready, I'll give you... I'll play you in with I Shall Hereafter.
All right.
Yeah? Okay, well, with no further ado, the combination Shakespeare has begun. I shall hereafter, my thrice gracious Lord, be more myself.
For all the world, as thou art to this hour, was Richard then, when I from France set foot at Ravensburg, and even as I was then is Percy now. Now, by my scepter and my soul to boot, he hath more worthy interest to the state than thou, the shadow of succession. For of no right nor colour like to right, he doth fill fields with harness in the realm, turns head against the lion's armed jaws, and being no more in debt to years than thou, leads ancient lords and reverend bishops on to bloody battles and to bruising arms. What never dying honor hath he got against renowned Douglas, whose high deeds, whose hot incursions and great name in arms, holds from all soldiers chief majority and military title capital, through all the kingdoms that acknowledge Christ. Thrice hath this Hotspur, Mars in swaddling clothes, this infant warrior in his enterprises, discomfited great Douglas, taken him once, enlarged him, and made him a friend, to fill the mouth of deep defiance up, and shake the peace and safety of our throne. And what say you to this? Percy, Northumberland, the Archbishop's Grace of York, Douglas, Mortimer, capitulate against us and are up. But wherefore do I tell these news to thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, which art my nearest and dearest enemy? Thou that art like enough, through vassal fear, base inclination, and the start of spleen, to fight against me under Percy's pay, to dog his heels and curtsy at his frowns, to show how much thou art degenerate.
Do not think it so. You shall not find it so. And God forgive them that so much have swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head, and in the dawning of some glorious day be bold to tell you that I am your son. When I will wear a garment all of blood, and stain my favors in a bloody mask, which, washed away, shall scour my shame with it. And that shall be the day, whene'er it lights, that this same child of honor and renown, this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet. For every honor sitting on his helm, would they were multitudes, and on my head my shames redoubled. For the day will come that I shall make this northern youth exchange his glorious deeds for my indignities. Percy is but my factor, good my lord, to engross up glorious deeds on my behalf, and I will call him to so strict account that he shall render every glory up, yea, even the slightest worship of his time, or I will tear the reckoning from his heart. This, in the name of God, I promise here, the which if he pleaseth I shall perform. I do beseech your majesty may salve the long-grown wounds of my intemperance. If not, the end of life cancels all bans, and I would die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this vow.
100,000 rebels die in this. Thou shalt have charge and sovereign trust herein. How now, good Blunt? Thy looks are full of speed.
Let's fucking go. Seen it. Ship it.
Seen it.
Cut it. Send it to producers. Yo, Rafe
Put it in the
Judkins.
can.
Rafe Judkins, where are you
Rafe,
at? Homie,
Rafe, I hope
you did great. That was the
thanks.
first time you'd ever seen that speech that was so coherent. It was the shirt. It was the shirt.
It's your blouse.
But dude, like, isn't that shit, like, he ends that shit. Like, you're just as likely, son, to fucking fight against me under Percy's pay.
Yep.
To show how much thou art degenerate. And then at the end, he's like, 100,000 rebels die in this. Like, that's some epic shit, man.
This is heavy.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for redeeming it. You guys are beasts. You guys are so kind to us. We love it. We would do 1 million of this, but I did tell people that we would be showing them the tape. That we would be ending this by releasing the tapes. So I think we have to.
Tapes.
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, we are mean boys doing mean girl scenes. I'm gonna release the tapes, dude.
Yeah.
I have to release the tapes. Let me just frame this a little bit better because this is designed for something else. Actually, no, this is how I'll do it. This will help. Here you go. Right? Did that do it?
Oh, yes.
Did
this is 2018, you said? 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
Long time ago.
2019.
Long time ago.
Hang on. This is not small enough for me yet. Hold up.
I feel like this is I was shaved in this for sure. This is baby cam.
Oh, bro, yeah. No. Cam, you are about to look like a child. Okay, so let me just drop it in this. Sorry for the editing on the fly, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, hold up. I did not anticipate this being in 16 by 19 framing. Bear with me.
Yeah. Come on, YouTube.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. We back. All right, guys. Okay, you're good, right? Good for you, Evie, or no? Okay. Now, guys, look. Again, it was 2019. May 8th, to be specific. In the months prior, Cam and I have connected on the interwebs, on the app formerly known as Twitter.
That's right.
And dude, like, I'd seen some of your stuff. You'd put out some cool Rand stuff. I'd put out some Matt stuff. And completely agree, Rococo. Like, completely agree. Like, his speech was banging. And you also didn't mispronounce anything. And you were also on meter. Like, it was crazy. But
that was meter. Okay, great.
Yeah. Good. And but this, what we're about to show you, okay, It's not from any script. This was cobbled together from book 4 of The Wheel of Time.
Oh man.
I have not watched this in
No, me either.
6 years, 5 years. I have no idea.
I feel like I had to buy a blue tablecloth as a backdrop. This is before
This is not going to be good. I
This is
didn't
not
have a
gonna be
backdrop. You can actually see what I used to use as my backdrop, which is just this curtain that
Yeah.
doesn't really work. Okay.
All right.
So buckle up, guys. This is for you. Enjoy. Soak it up. You're welcome in advance. And Cam, again, apologies. Here we go.
Oh no, I'm gonna be a bit delayed because I'll see it on stream.
You know, I can believe the stories. Gotan, sitting under Avendasora for 40 years to gain wisdom. Right now, I can believe.
I don't know that I'd trust birds to bring me food, though. You'd have to get up sometime. Well, it doesn't make any sense. What kind of food could birds bring in here? What birds?
Well, maybe reading wasn't always like this, Matt. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Avendasora was somewhere else then.
Somewhere else? I wouldn't mind being somewhere else. A pub?
Death is lighter than a feather, but duty is
Heavier than a mountain, right. You've been in the borderlands 2 months, Rand. Blood and ashes. What do you think we'll find in there?
I think I have to go on alone from here, Matt.
What? Hey, I came this far, didn't I? I'm not going to turn tail now.
No, that's not it at all, Matt. When you go in there, you either come out as an Aiel clan chief, or you die. Or maybe you come out crazy, but there are no other choices. Unless you're a wise one, maybe.
I'm not a bloody wise one, am I?
It looks like I go in alone.
To live and die again, that's what they said.
That's what who said?
Just... nothing. We'll leave it up to luck.
I forgot about that.
Flame, I go with you. Heads, I stay out.
No, we are not doing that.
Blade!
Looks like you stay out here, Matt.
Yeah.
Did you just...
The real ones now.
Oh, burn me! Go on and be a bloody Aiel chief. You have the face for it.
Don't come in there, Matt. No matter what happens, don't.
You leave me alone in the waste with Moraine and the bloody Aiel and I'll strangle you. Dragon reborn or no.
Don't follow me.
Love you, dude. Come on.
Man,
Come
first of all,
on.
glow up,
Yeah.
double
let's go.
glow up.
Let's go.
I look a little bit like I don't even know the actor's name.
Yeah,
Joshua.
you do, man. You
like
really
that
do.
there. Damn, how'd he get it?
Dude, I mean, well, like, you have the red hair. Like, he also, like, you guys have similar kind of texture to your hair.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
weird.
mean?
Weird.
Oh, man.
That was not as bad as I was worried it would be.
Agreed. My on camera, like, there's so much movement. You know what I mean? But it's just like anything, dude. Like, people will redeem auditions, and sometimes I'm
Yeah.
playing auditions from, like, 2017.
That's funny.
And I'm kind of like, yeah, no wonder I didn't book that. Like, you know, but this, I mean, we're shooting our shot, man. Like, what else
was
can you
good.
do? Like,
I clearly didn't have a microphone because the background sound
Right,
was
right.
just
And-
abhorrent.
well, and I hadn't gotten good enough at editing to just like drop in some EQ and not have us dipping in and out. You know
It was
what I
edited
mean?
pretty good.
Yeah, no,
it was
worked.
smooth.
Listen, he was in Canada. I was in California. The eye line synced up. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
the
on.
important stuff was there.
It was there. It was definitely there. Oh my
It
goodness.
was good.
No,
That was
man,
good.
that was it. Well, Cam, I appreciate it, dude. I know we probably got to wrap and bounce out of here, but like before we let you go,
Hell yeah.
where can we find you? How can we support you? What's going on in CPOX's life?
Oh, I mean, well,
That's an interesting
I
idea.
stream sometimes. I stream sometimes at CPOX. We're doing a lot of co-work streams these days, trying to get back to games.
I
Other
love
than
that.
I mean, hey, do we have a few minutes? Are we
Of
gonna
course.
talk baby?
Oh my gosh, dude, we have to talk baby.
Like you're a new dad.
Bro, oh my god, you're right. We have to.
Just
well,
quick.
Yeah, no, let's do it. I got 510 on that easy. Thank you for asking, first off.
Yeah.
And to everyone on the Discord, and I mean just everyone, Foos, Evie, I mean, Rococo and Ruff, I appreciate you guys coming through and following and supporting the both of us. But it really meant a lot to me, like how many just kind of people I'd never met, you know, were so effusive with their love and support. And it was unbelievable, man. I mean, for something that has happened since the dawn of time, you know, it's still just so shocking and magical. And I've described it as like the slowest moving magic trick I've ever seen, you know. You know, you guys, I mean, Cam, I mean, you know, I mean, your wife is pregnant right now. And I'm sure just seeing that kind of transformation from 10 weeks to 25, you know, is wild. But the big stuff for me is like the female body is just incredibly like resilient and like I guess for me like a big takeaway is like God is definitely a woman, you know. Like I mean, again, I'm not trying to put it on, you know, but oh man, I mean, like the moment, because things got kind of hairy. Like we were just going in for an OB appointment, and then she was going to stay after for some monitoring. I was at the appointment. I then left to go to work. Everything was normal, and the baby's heart rate was like dropping on and off, and we're talking like from like 140, 145 down to like 55, 50. So they rush her in for an emergency C-section, and it stabilizes, and they then pull her back out. They're monitoring it, and it dips again. And it's like classic kind of ER, like people are rushing in, moving around. I get a call from Alex, and it's actually a nurse that's like, hey, like you need to come right back. Da-da-da-da. And I'm on my way to meet this client. I'm like, skip. And dude, long story short, like, you know, she got a C-section, and it was crazy and super intense. She's awake for it. Just handling it like a complete champ. And they have this sort of partition up, thank God, because she is being operated on in a major fashion. But that moment of hearing Waylon cry for the first time was so profound because I couldn't see it, you know, and we're like, holy smokes. And they told us the umbilical cord was wrapped and there's some other stuff. And it just felt like things were accelerating, you know? And hearing that cry, I was like, oh my God. But here's the thing. We didn't know the sex. So I'd ask, Waylon was Flaylin and Waylon. But he, so I told him, I was like, hey, you know, I want to announce the sex and XYZ and whatever. Like I told him our birth plan and preferences. And some of those got thrown out because of the emergency. But they come around and like proffer me like a bottle of wine at a restaurant, like genitals first. You know what I mean? This child, this little like 6 pound, 8 ounce little alien. And you're having a daughter, so you won't see this, but dude, his balls were engorged. Okay. I guess trigger warning if anyone has elephantitis. I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that ain't right. And they were like, no, it's because of whatever. I was like, all right. But, man, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I have wanted to do as much as I can to make Alex's life easier. She is the one that is doing what feels like everything. But it's been awesome to like, you know, throw Waylon in the thing and take him for a walk. And I have a kids album I've been working on for a long time, Coconut Island, that has some certified bops, bro. And I'm telling you, I'm just gonna drop one in. If you guys, I don't know how many people have heard it, but it is the one. You can also find it on Spotify, but man, it's called Coconut Trees. The album's Coconut.
Let's go.
And dude, it is so fun to like sing it to my boy. You know, like I don't know. So I'm excited for you. Yes, let me see about this. Hold up, Gervanch. What the heck did you just do, you rascal? Hold up. Oh, I forgot that I can't do that. Hang on, I got this. But dude, real quick. Oh my gosh, Gervanch, how dare you drop a karaoke? How dare you drop a karaoke, dude? Okay, that's fine. Cam, okay, here's what's going to happen, dude. Give us 3 to 5 minutes on your experience of, if you don't mind, if you're okay with that.
Not at all, yeah.
And then you and I are going to have to sing a duet. So I'll try to think about that. I'll try to think about that in the meantime. But how's it been for you? Like, were you guys like planning it? Was this, a surprise? Like,
yeah, this was planned. Absolutely. And like you said, Shayna's been bearing the brunt of the I guess responsibility, but I have it right here. I have my book.
Let me
I've
see,
been studying up on.
We're pregnant.
But it's
Heck
for
yeah.
first time dad's pregnancy handbook.
Let's
so,
go.
We make sure to go to all the appointments with her, and we're on the same page about everything, and it hasn't been too bad. I mean, she, is uncomfortable a lot, but
Yes.
through almost into the third trimester will be Thursday, and that's the last trimester. So counting down the weeks. We've been rearranging the office into a nursery, which is why I have my portable blue screen instead of my permanent green screen. So just starting to look at what changes will be made. We got like a rocking chair, or ready to order a crib, all the stuff that makes it more real.
Got you, dude. Exactly. The accumulation of stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely is kind of undeniable, because then you're seeing it every day. You're like, oh man, those are some tiny clothes.
Yep.
Those are some very
So
small
tiny.
clothes. Gurvanch, I love you. Dude, that's amazing. So you guys know it's a girl. You guys have a name picked out? Like, you do not have to tell us, obviously. But I'm just curious.
We have a name. We haven't like announced it officially yet.
Nor should you, bro. Keep that under
we do
that.
have one. It's a good one, I think.
I have no doubt. And the beautiful thing about telling people once the child is out is they can't say shit.
Exactly.
Like,
they can, but I don't care.
Well, they can. They can be very rude and uncouth. But like, there was one dinner I had back in Texas, where I'm from, with some family, where people were like, "What names are you guys considering?" And I was like, X, Y, and Z, and they were like, "Hate them all."
Oh,
You know what I mean?
great.
And I'm like, y'all, I don't give a hoot. You know what I mean? Like, back up. We're living our life. That's amazing, man.
I'll tell you. I'll give you not a hint, but my parents got us a book, like 100,000 baby names. It's not in there.
It's not in there, dude.
It's not in there. So that narrows it down a bit.
I love that.
So
Wow.
that's all I'll say.
Okay, dude, that is amazing. So, okay, that's good to know. Is it Hezekiah?
It is not.
Okay, well, I had to guess.
Wouldn't that have been something though?
I know. As I said it, I was like, this feels like it could be.
Hezekiah. I mean, it's not a terrible name.
Yeah, I mean, you could Hezi. That's a cool nickname.
Hezi.
Oh my
I do
gosh.
like that.
Oh, this is so good. Okay, the vocals, we gotta make the song. Dude, that's amazing. Congrats, Gurvanch.
Congrats.
That's rad. That's
Man,
badass.
we have a
dude.
celebrity in your chat.
Gurvanch is a
That's
really
insane.
talented creative and filmmaker. He streams as well. Cam, rad
Oh,
dude.
that's great. I'll check that out.
But yeah, I mean, like, produces music and also just produces a lot of film. Great director. Great eye.
Amazing.
Yeah, man, let me know. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for you to send me a track, to be honest, because, like, I don't have, it's like I have, like, lyrics, like, kicking around, but we should totally circle back on that. Okay, we got to sing something, and then we got to get out of here. So
All right.
I don't know
I'll do my
what the
best.
best move here is. Usually I like to sing weird stuff,
Okay.
but what are your go-to karaoke's, Cam? Let me ask you that.
I will say that I can't do any of my go-tos with the current like cough state I'm in.
Oh, bless you.
But for duets, I mean, like, if I had $1 million, Love is an Open Door from Frozen. What other duets? I mean, I do 3 a.m. is one of my favorite songs, and we made it a duet.
Oh my God.
So
By Third Eye Blind?
I'm easy. Matchbox
20. Okay, yeah, I swapped
But Third Eye
those.
Blind, if I'm super warmed up and into it and the vibe's right, I crush some Semi-Charmed Life.
Oh my God, dude, I love it.
That's like the peak of my range, though.
Well, you know that Cam is a real pro because he's coming out of the gate being like, first off, I'm not vocally warm, so how dare you? And you're
I've
right.
been coughing for a week. But I'll try.
Dude, I finished a book on tape and I had the most savage cough for the final 3 weeks of that. And I can't even tell you. It'd be like, I was like, mental fortitude in golf is found whenever the like it's debilitating.
Yep.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do.
So let's do 3 a.m. Fuck it.
All right. I think I think I can
I know the song. I of course have never sung it, but let me just drop some of this out of here. Bam, bam. Too many tabs.
Oh yeah, we love tabs.
Too many tabs. All right, Papa Bear. Here we go, guys. The final karaoke, the coup de grace karaoke. Right. I would be down for the Frozen Eevee, but here's a bad thing. Oh my gosh, it is lagging crazy. That's on my end. That's a me thing. But here's the reality: is I have never seen Frozen, bro. I've never seen it.
Pretty good. It's a pretty good movie, honestly.
Got it. Is it? Okay. Like where would you rank it on the next to Aladdin?
Oh, I mean, next to the classics? I mean, Aladdin's Aladdin. Like, Aladdin's Aladdin. But for the new era...
Is Aladdin the Jordan of Disney films or no?
Okay, here's a hot take, maybe. My favorite Disney film is Oliver and Company.
Wow. Did not see that coming.
I know, it's a real, not many people would say that, but I don't know, man. I just love it. But I'm not embarrassed to tell people that I've seen Frozen a bunch of times and I like it. So that's where that ranks.
No.
It's not Moana, but it's pretty good.
No, I feel embarrassed that I haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? You know what, dude?
You will.
Can we do Twist and Shout?
I Twist and Shout, like the screamy horse one. I can sure try.
I'm just thinking of something like fun, upbeat. You know what I mean?
I'll try whatever you want.
No,
the lyrics are gonna be on the screen, right?
Yes.
Although the stream, but okay, I'll maybe. Tell me what the song so I can get the lyrics up, because the stream's a bit behind for me.
You're
so
right.
I'll be way behind.
You should be able to hear the audio since I'm sharing it through Zoom.
Yeah.
But let me adjust the gain slightly so I don't blow it out. Both Cam and I are completely shook right now. We did not anticipate this, all right? And to be honest, male actors, bro, we have a list of karaoke songs. We don't have a list of duets because it's a lone wolf life for us out there. Like I've never sung a duet karaoke until this moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm 99% sure that's accurate.
I mean, if you love Aladdin so much, there's a duet right in there.
Oh my God. Can we?
I could probably remember.
Can we?
I could cobble together the timing.
Dude, you're such a goddamn pro, Cam. I could probably cobble together the timing is a classico.
I don't know if I'd say professional, but
let's do it. Let's do it.
I can do it.
Let's see if we can make it home. I'm gonna go with the shorter version. This one's 2:46. The other one is 3 minutes. So guys,
what did they? Oh, they probably cut out the intro or something. Hold on, I'm gonna get lyrics up.
You know what? Definitely get lyrics up. Okay. I feel like as my guest, I should offer you Aladdin. Unless of
I'll
course,
take Jasmine.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There it is.
Why not?
I obviously know Aladdin's choreo, so I feel I feel a little more
you
comfortable
should
there.
do Aladdin.
I think we both need baggier pants, but we'll cheat it since we're only framed above the chest.
Okay.
Cam, you are such a hero, dude. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Hold on.
The rest of you guys, I want to remind you, you wanted this. All right? You redeemed it, Gavranch. I didn't drag you into this. Cam didn't sign up for this, and yet here he is. Like
hold on, I'm going to try and find lyrics that show who does what part, because I'm a little come on, why are you not showing me? Because I'm pretty sure, but not 100%.
Look, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be flawless. So there is a difference.
Why is it highlighted like that? Does that mean both? Does that mean both do it?
What does it mean? What do you mean? My dog is honking. Like a
Okay, I'll see if I can do like a falsetto or something for Jasmine.
yeah, get up there. Trust your instrument, Cam. Okay, guys.
All right.
With no
Let's give it a
further
try.
ado, obviously, if you don't like it, stuff your sorrows in a sack. All right, simple as that. And if there's any umbrage with this section, take it up with Gravanch personally, because he he is thankfully to blame. All right, with no further ado, A Whole New World karaoke version sung to you by Cam Parkes and John Phillips. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Intro ask.
This doesn't sound like the movie.
This does not sound like the movie. So, Aladdin starts, does he not?
Yes.
Okay, great. Here we go.
Oh, this sounds like
Right?
the movie.
Yes, where are the flutes, dude?
All right.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, Cam, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear. Now I'm in a whole new world.
Now I'm in a whole new world.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
Hold
Hold your breath, it gets better.
I'm like a shooting star. I can't go back to where
A
I
whole
used to
new
be.
world.
It's a surprise.
New horizons to pursue.
Moment
I'll
that
chase
led
them
us
anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world.
A whole new
That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll
A
be.
thrilling chase
A wondrous place.
for you and me. Come on, dude.
I
Cam,
hope they could even hear that. Is that
legally,
clipping?
legally, we have to get married now. I'm so
Honestly,
sorry. That's
fine.
the law in Texas.
Fine.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. We'll do that again
Homie,
sometime.
you came in at a 10 and finished at an 11. That was incredible.
Come on. Let's
Come
go.
on, dude. That was so good. All right, Gravanch, thank you.
Timing could be better, but
Bro,
without
you were dealing
seeing
with
the
a
timing.
lag. Yeah.
Well,
In 1992,
Oh
the
my
film
God.
Aladdin
So
took
sorry.
us
oh,
Now we're on. And not that.
all right.
Okay. All right, guys.
Good
Well,
times.
Cam, we put you through the ringer, bro. A duet.
It was my pleasure.
Shakespeare with no rehearsals. You had your players in chat, and I'm asking about your campaign. You navigated like a pro.
You know what? I said I was ready for anything,
And you were. That was
and
true.
you tested me on that.
Ask Evie or anyone that I've interviewed, dude. It's going to be a good time, but
Yeah.
you're going to get tested. All right?
Yep.
You're going to get
That's
tested.
the best kind.
For Evie, it was the fact that I was using Restream for the first time, and our stream was dropping like flip-flops at the beach.
Oh.
But regardless. Okay, we're about to get out of here, but Cam, tell us. How do we find you? Where do we find you? How can we support you in the coming days?
Man, I'm CPAWX on everything. CPAWX on Twitch,
Cool.
on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram. Yeah, I mean, that's there it is. If you like doing work, I do co-work streams during the day. Although I'm Eastern time, so
Dude, but I love
it
those
again.
co-works, truly. And Mim, you freaking legend. I miss you so much. How are you? So good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Man, I love the co-work streams. Like, I've never seen that
they
as a
work.
concept. They're awesome. It's a great concept.
They're for me, and people benefit somehow.
Well, because it's just any time any accountability is floated, it honestly is typically helpful. Even if it's just holding the mirror to us, where it's like, oh, this is actually hard for me to do. Why is this resistant, you know?
Yep. 5:17.
That's amazing. Okay. It's 5:17 a.m. Gervonch is
AM,
such a
yeah.
hero, bro. Oh my goodness. Okay, CPOX everywhere. He streams his game on Sundays, so please come in there and check that out. I'm trying to think, dude. We need to do some more collabing. I'm not really sure what that will be.
I think it's time.
But I've been like really inconsistent with my streams, and I really haven't hit all of my Twitch goals. But a lot of that is really just trying to widen the net of storytelling, collaboration, and you know, hopefully platforming at the same time. You know what I mean?
A baby will, I assume, throw a wrench in scheduling.
Dude, this baby is so wonderful, and I love this boy. Mim, I had a kid. Let's flip and go. Yeah, let's go. It has begun.
By the way.
Yeah, it's like, yo, update. But man, it has been such a lesson in powerlessness. So if I can give you two pieces of advice, one is
Please.
like, love on your girl. She is your baby in this, like, postpartum. You know what I mean? In terms of just, and not that I'm, again, like, you know what to do. I'm just passing along what was hit to me by women in my life that had children. But then two is that you got to throw out schedules and whatever, especially for the first like month, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I don't know. Like, go with God, sleep when you can, say no to everything, you know, and just like live, you know.
I love all those things.
Yeah, dude. You're gonna be so great, man. Okay.
You're gonna be great. You're already great.
I'm feeling like it's been good, but it's been a lot. Mim, it is so perfect that you're in chat, bro, because I'm about to raid someone that is doing Dungeons and Dragons. The first time I ever did this, Mim raided me with Altruistic Latte, a couple legends in the game.
Hell yeah.
And it just meant the world, man. Like, it's so nice when someone raids you, period, but especially when it's someone you don't know. So let me see. Lost in Time. I like finding someone that's doing prep, ideally, because that seems like a cool thing to do.
You can look behind the screen.
Oh, they're playing a Pokemon D&D. We have to stream them. I mean,
Pokemon D&D?
Yeah. I don't know what it's going to be, but it looks sick.
I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. Go, Cam. I choose you. Guys,
all right.
Everybody
I'll try.
Yeah, exactly. Use Tail Whip.
Cam.
His
Cam,
defense sharply fell. Everyone that came through, truly, Guff,
the real ones.
Rococo, Fuzka, Evie, Gervonch, Mim, Crimson. I'm sure I missed somebody. But I don't know. It just means the world, especially in between two DMs, because I haven't done this stream in a minute. And so I appreciate you guys coming through. Cam's a rad dude. You guys saw that, but it's
this was great.
Dude, this really was awesome. Like, I have loved these and haven't done them in forever. So thank you, everybody. We are going to now raid Tarako Geek. Now, what's their deal? I don't know. But they look chill. Looks like they're having a good time. And again, it's a Pokemon stream, bro. Say no more. So, if you can, give them some love. Tell them Carpe sent you. I will be streaming on Wednesday, doing some DM prep. So, get your cute butt through. And, Cam, anything else before we get out of here?
Man, if acting doesn't work out for you, you could be a journalist. Let me just say that. But I know it will. But other than that, great interview.
So generous.
Felt safe the whole time.
Well, you know, it's easy whenever you're vibing with someone you enjoy. So thank you for making it easy, dude. But I appreciate that. That's kind.
Anytime.
We will get you back, dude. All right, guys.
Hell yeah.
Say what up to Tarako Geek. We are out of here. I love you. I mean it. We gone. Take care of yourself.